If you've been feeling anxious, low, overwhelmed, or unlike yourself since having COVID, you're not imagining it. This is not a character flaw and it's not a personal failure. There are real biological, neurological, and medical reasons why mood changes show up so often with long COVID. I really struggled with my own mood when my symptoms were at their worst. I had already been through so much medically speaking. And long COVID was just one more thing I had to carry on top of everything else. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what's happening inside your body, the lab work you can ask for so you can stop guessing, and a few practical tools you can use right away to support your mind and your nervous system. The rest of this video is pulled directly from last month's masterclass inside my free community, so you're getting the same guidance I share with members who join me live each month. Illness frequently brings anxiety and often depression as well. Anxiety is especially common. You're worried about your health, the impact on your life, the future, all of that. So with long COVID, there has been more uncertainty about your recovery. Just not enough is known about it yet. They're working on it, but not enough people, in my opinion. And of course, I'm sure we've all experienced the gaslighting and people misunderstanding what we're trying to say. Afraid of the future. It can be very challenging to work when you're living with any chronic illness, but especially when such severe fatigue is part of it. So it's a lot to take in, it's a lot to manage. I started having to take an antidepressant and anti-anxiety med about a little over 20 years ago when my daughter was born, and have had to continue taking it despite my wish to stop. And I started having a reaction to the antidepressant that I'd taken for several years and could not taper off of it because of the nature of the reaction. It had to go cold turkey, which is generally not the ideal way to stop taking a mental health med. It is not a random event that you might be feeling more anxious or even depressed. It's connected to your illness, your experience. It's very normal. Chronic illness affects every single aspect of your life. Everything. So it's not uncommon to be anxious, to start to feel depressed. You have, of course, the physical uncertainties, fluctuating symptoms and energy. You feel isolated. You're being gaslit, sometimes by the people you're closest to. You've had to change everything about you, so you lost your previous identity, your role. Maybe you were the caretaker and now someone's taking care of you. You're probably under some financial stress. You're afraid of what's coming down the road for you, what the future holds. Anxiety grows from trying to manage the unknown. And depression follows, quite commonly, when life feels narrower, tighter, restrictive. It's a natural response. Doesn't mean you failed. Good heavens, no. The last person to say something like that. Mental health is something we should discuss more, especially with regards to chronic illness. So before we go on to ways to deal with it, there are other factors that can contribute to anxiety and depression. And one of them, of course, is sleep. If you're like me, you don't always sleep the best. Some days are better, some days are worse, although it took me a while to get to the point, where more days were better. There are also some chemical reasons in your blood that can cause it. And these can generally be checked. Actually, all the ones I'm going to be mentioning can be checked with simple lab tests. You just have to reach out to your provider and say, hey, I want to get these looked at, and tell them why. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to depression symptoms. Iron, B12, if those are low, you can have issues there. If your thyroid is malfunctioning, you can have all sorts of emotional issues as well. Blood sugar instabilities can cause it. And shifts in your hormones. Believe it or not, long COVID can bring about early menopause. cause irregularity in your cycle. Everything's affected. So like I said, these can be addressed with simple labs. Please do not try to self-medicate for these. Please don't do that. That's always a bad idea, because if that's not the problem, you could be throwing your system out of whack in ways that it was started out normal. Before I go on, a quick reminder, this is not medical advice. This is information only based on my personal experiences and my own research into the area. Before you make any medical decisions, please, you must talk to a provider about it, especially with some of the things I'm going to be mentioning. You need to get approval from a provider before doing them, and for much of it, also some professional guidance will make things a lot easier and reduce your chances of problems with them. So I'm going to start out with non-drug ways to support stress, anxiety, and depression. Medications are not the only tools. Non-drug strategies give you more options, and you can frequently have an immediate improvement. Examples of these are stretching and yoga, mindfulness, meditation, breathwork, creative practices, journaling, art, music. I knit. I love knitting. Actually, I have a new project I'm going to be starting today. Spending time in nature and grounding. Now, I know you've heard me mention grounding with regards to breath work, but grounding is an actual real thing. I started doing this in my garden over the summer. A community I was in did a challenge to do 10 minutes of barefoot ground contact, basically, every day for a month. And it really did make a difference. I started walking around the garden in my bare feet. I really enjoyed it. Of course, I had to clean my feet for it when it's up. But, whatever. Semantics, right? These are going to help to support your nervous system. And they create resilience, even if they don't cure your anxiety and your depression. You give yourself some grace here. You're dealing with a lot. So there's nothing wrong with needing some extra help. Now your challenge. I want you to reflect and track. Yes, I'm big on tracking. I bring that up quite frequently in case you haven't caught that yet. Spend a few minutes every day, maybe a few times a day, whatever works for you. Just notice what's affecting your mood, whether it's making it better or worse. There's no judgment here. You're observing. You're making notes. You're figuring out your patterns. Write it down, whether you write it down on paper or in an electronic journal. Write it down. Having it written down makes it easier to spot the patterns. I want you to choose one non-drug tool here, whether it is breathwork, meditation, yoga, journaling, stretching, spending time in nature. Then I'm eager to try at some point, as I get to the point where I can do some light hiking, is forest bathing. No, I'm not going to get naked and go sit in the middle of the forest. No, that's not exactly what it's referring to, although I'm sure some do that. Music, arts, creation, I mentioned knitting, and use it consistently. Shoot for every day for 2 weeks. I hope you found this very useful. If you want more support as you work through these mind and mood changes, you are welcome to join my free community. You'll get access to full masterclasses like this one, tools that help you to understand your symptoms, and a place where you do not have to explain or justify what you're living with. The link is in the description as well as in my bio. So come join us and get connected with people who truly understand what you're going through. Thanks. Spread joy, not germs. Betsy, out.